A grim tale of love and loss. Banishers Ghost of New Eden caught my attention. Developed by Don't Nod, the same studio behind Vampire, I expected to have an amazing narrative experience. And not only did it deliver, it actually surpassed my expectations. Set in the 17th century North America, the game follows the story of lovers Antia Duarte and Red McRae. They are ghost hunters known as Banishers called to New Eden, a colony that is seemingly cursed. Tragedy befalls when Antia is killed by a very powerful ghost called the Nightmare, the same ghost responsible for the curse over New Eden. This may seem like a spoiler, but it really isn't. This is just the base. There is a lot more to uncover. Antia returns as a ghost, but she cannot be banished until the Nightmare has been defeated, who has now corrupted the whole region. To defeat the Nightmare, you first must weaken it by solving smaller haunting cases, setting the rest of the story in motion. Choice is an important part of the game. Early on, you have to decide what to do with Antea after the nightmare is defeated. Do you help her ascend to the afterlife or do you resurrect her? This game will question your morality, classic don't not behavior. Throughout the game, you'll come across different haunting cases. You'll have to investigate them and provide closure by either banishing or sending the ghost, or you blame the living person for whatever the situation may be and kill them. Blaming majority of the living people is required if you plan on resurrecting Antea. These haunting cases are also very well written. A lot of times in games, once you finish a quest, you're still left with some questions about what happens next. Not so much in Banishers though. You can actually revisit and get a follow-up quest. The combat in this game is decent. You have your usual light attack, heavy attack, dodge, and parry. I wasn't the biggest fan of parrying in this game, but again, I don't expect exceptional combat from a narrative-driven game. I did, however, love how fluid and seamless the switch between Red and Antea is mid-fight. Red has a sword and a gun for range attacks, whereas Antea can punch, and she has different abilities called manifestations. The enemy variety isn't great, but again, I didn't care much for it. There are also 5 different combat difficulties to choose from, so you can make the game as easy or as difficult as you want. There is a skill tree for both Antea and Red. The best part is that you can keep switching them up whenever you want. You're not stuck with picking something that you might regret later. The only catch is you can only have a few active skills at a time. You do have different gear items that you may purchase or find during exploration. I didn't bother much with finding different items. I mainly just upgraded what I already had. I per se thought this was a bit unnecessary. The game is beautiful, the world is great. It's semi-open and has tons of exploration with environmental puzzle elements and a little bit of side content apart from just haunting cases. I did love how the world evolves as you progress through the game. The more you help, the more stable the region became. For example, one of the early locations you go to is a small hunter's camp in the woods, and later in the game you see it transform into an actual village. The game is reminiscent of God of War, Witcher 3, and a little bit of the Tomb Raider reboots, and a tiny bit of Sherlock Holmes if you look at the haunting cases. As for the performance, yes, I did face a few issues like stuttering here and there, but honestly, I was so invested in the story that it didn't even matter. I highly recommend this game to anybody that loves a good story. The portrayal of the relationship between Antea and Red is one of the best I've seen in the game. The voice actor did a beautiful job. Banishers did such a brilliant job at bringing out emotions. It reminded me of why I love playing games in the first place. To get lost in different worlds and create a deep emotional connection with its characters in such a way that it leaves you feeling all sorts of different emotions as the credits roll. Yes, it is a grim tale of love and loss, but it is a tale that will always be close to my heart. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.